Our next guest is trying to change the face of the internship industry. Kevin Davis spent 26 years on Wall Street and noted the lack of diversity at many of the country's most recognizable companies. Kevin founded First Workings, a nonprofit that provides internships to high school juniors from low-income areas of New York City and seeks to land them at big companies like KPMG, Morgan Stanley, and Ogilvy. Here's Kevin now. Hi, Kevin.
Good morning. And
we have a First Workings alumna, Fatou Kabba, live via Skype. Hi, Fatou.
Hey.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Kevin, tell us about the program. How did you come up with the idea and how's it going? How has it developed?
Well, I came up with the program after 25 fantastic years on Wall Street. And one of the things that I noticed was that our employee base came from a very narrow social group. Yep. Why was that? Because most of our employees came from, as a consequence of internships. And our interns typically came from colleagues' kids, yep. Customers' kids, counterparties' kids, which meant that it was a very narrow social group. It wasn't that we didn't want to hire kids from underserved communities. We simply didn't have access to them, and they didn't even think to apply to us. So what we've created is a bridge between companies seeking diversity and underserved communities seeking opportunity.
I mean, Kevin, one of the things we cover on these couches very frequently are the best places to work or the top jobs that people want. And it seems to change. And right now it's tech. Everyone is obsessed with tech and computer science. As you think about the kinds of internship opportunities you're giving folks, how has that changed over time? Because I don't know if those big consulting or accounting firms are what people want to be doing.
Right. Well, I think finance still remains a very popular destination. And in fact, the internships that we place our kids at are really driven by their interests. So we don't even start really looking for our internships in earnest until we've figured out exactly where students want to go. Tech is definitely increasing. Healthcare is still very strong. We work with Mount Sinai. They actually take the largest number of our students. Wow. But we also work with, as you mentioned, but in addition to the companies you mentioned, in fact, we work with PJT Partners, where Fatou worked, Morgan Stanley, Lazard Frere, Doyle Fund Management, and a whole variety of finance companies, also in fashion and PR and all those sorts of companies.
Let's bring in Fatou. Fatou, tell us about your internship experience here. How did the program work out for you?
Hi. So the program was amazing for me. I think I worked at an investment banking firm called PJT Partners, as mentioned. And the first day for me was really about learning about the environment, just getting my own computer screen and desk. But the second day I was immediately given recruiting tasks and a project, and eventually allowed to sit in on board meetings with college summer analysts and partners of the company. And then it just so happened that the vice president of HR worked with me and gave me lessons on Excel, which is a very critical skill in the IB world. And toward the end, I was given a test on everything I learned, and I felt like I had mastered the material and felt confident that I could become a quick learner. But I think essentially what I really learned from the internship, from personal meetings with first-year analysts and associates and managing directors, was that I liked how it felt, and it was a motivational factor for me. I liked seeing myself in that room, and I started to see myself in that room with those people.
Yeah, and Fatou, I want to just ask, did this kind of change where you thought, your life might go? You're still a very young person. You have your entire life in front of you, but to get you thinking about other career paths and maybe helping to rule out finance or rule out things that you knew you didn't want to do or environments that you thought you would be more successful in that previously, kind of really didn't exist, right? There weren't things that you had seen before.
Yeah, I think this experience for me was really about seeing myself in that room. And when I say that, I mean, growing up, I didn't really consider going into finance. I always told myself that I wanted to do medicine because that's what my parents always saw for me in the future. And then right before I started working at this internship, I realized that I wanted to look into other things that I could go into. And I think definitely now that I'm in college and I'm taking classes, the future for me is much more visible than it was before. Internships, the word internship itself used to be a scary word for me because I never knew what it would look like for me. I never thought that I would have the opportunity to work in such a great company. So I definitely think this as I said before, it gave me a motivation, and allowed me to see myself in this world in the future.
All right, really interesting. Fatou, thanks for joining us. And Kevin, thank you. You know, I appreciate that about trying to change the intern pipeline as a way to then affect change at the actual employee level. And Wall Street definitely needs more diversity.
The easiest way to hire someone is someone you already know.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much.